to today's topic. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. Shout out to all my Purple Heart members. Thank you guys for all of your support in advance. You will see this video once it re uploads to YouTube. So, shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for always coming through and always showing your support. We definitely appreciate you guys. Yeah. So today I wanted to go ahead and talk about the whole kind of evolution of this whole ICE agency, as it pertains to what is happening in Chicago. Also, a little bit of Portland, Oregon, but more so focusing on the Chicago situation, which is just like the flashpoint. It's just the kicking off point to what's to come. Um, so yeah, I want to go ahead and talk about that. A couple of days ago, I saw on the news something about them removing the educational requirements to sign up to join ICE. I think before you needed to have a high school diploma, if I'm not mistaken, and now there is no requirement, or if it was a college diploma and now you only need the bare minimum, which is high school. But I want to say it was high school and then they removed that. So basically, um, what that signals to me is any and anybody who has um, any type of disdain or dislike for anybody that they don't see fit to be in the country, they can go ahead and they can go ahead and join up and um basically get the green light to use whatever force they deem necessary against these people, whoever they send them to basically attack or round up or gather, whatever terminology you want to use. But that was, to me, was a huge red flag when they removed the educational requirement to sign up and join ICE. It was like, oh my god, here they come. You could just see them running out the freaking hills, running down to the nearest ICE office to sign up. Cuz like, why wouldn't they love to get free weaponry and training and just forget the training, just go out there and just unleash, whatever pent up frustration and anger you have against society. You can just go ahead and take it out against these poor people. You had there was other incidents in the news where you had people dressing up and imitating ICE agents so they can kidnap women to commit crimes against them. So that was creepy and weird. And then now you have this come one, come all, come get a gun, come get a taser, come get the handcuff, come get the ropes, and just go out there and do your thing. I was watching, like, I don't know if people are like, this stuff is just so out in the open. My God, it's not even a conspiracy anymore. It's not even like, it's not, it's just out there in the open. Look who is running the show, right? This guy is so freaking creepy. Um, the nickname Lord Voldemort, whatever they call him, is just so, doesn't even come close to the description. Like, I watched a speech that Stephen Miller was giving at some conference somewhere, and he was on stage and he was riled up and he was like frothing at the mouth. I think it was in Tennessee or is it Memphis, and he was telling the police force there, because Memphis is the next target. I mean, not coincidental, right? Chicago, Memphis. You starting to connect the dots here. Um, he was basically telling them they can go out and do whatever it takes, go out there, use whatever amount of force. The government backs them 100%. They got their back. And you could just see him, like, he was so animated. He was so animated. This is somebody who is front and center to this whole, you know, um, the R war, right? These people are chomping at the bits. These are the type of people who are like pushing for this type of chaos and anarchy in the streets and the bloodbath that will ensue and all that type of stuff. So that was the first thing that came to mind when I realized like what they were doing with the whole ICE thing. So now it seems like we're not even talking about Trendale or whatever they were trying to, use as the guise to really kick off what they're really about to get into, right? Chicago, Memphis, you name it, other cities of color where most of the citizens there will be people of color. So this is not shocking to anybody. I think most most educated people of color saw this stuff coming like a mile away. So now it seems like we've moved on from the whole illegal immigrants situation because he now has that covered. They have that covered. They've gotten couple countries with the terrible human rights track records to agree to take these people. They're shipping them off to all these other places and, out of sight, out of mind. They don't care as long as they're not on American soil. So they kind of have that under control. They're quietly deporting people daily. You're just not seeing that on the news anymore. We're not televising that. Now we've moved on to quote unquote ICE up in, you know, the neighborhoods. And what did he say? What did Trump say at that speech he gave again with the military? Basically, what was it again? Use the city as training grounds for the troops or whatever. And then, you have Hegseth talking about, we need to get back tough and do this, all this stuff. So we have all of that going on in the midst of the underbelly of it all, the aggression against people of color, the zip tying of the children and hauling them out into the street half naked and separating them from their mothers and traumatizing people. Even though they're telling you they're American citizens, you're telling them you don't believe them. And I'm just like, wow. So here we are. So it looks like we're back at it again. So I think people are starting to catch on, and thank God people are starting to catch on. As it pertains to Portland, Oregon, I think it's pretty obvious what's happening over there. You have large um, immigrant communities over there, farm workers, people coming in to do that type of work, and all that type of stuff is going on over there. And basically, anybody um, who's anti against the loss of democracy and freedoms. You can kind of lump them all together. Free speech defenders, all that type of stuff. You can kind of lock them all in over there. So that is also happening in a vacuum within itself. All you hear on the news is, "Oh my God, Portland is a war zone. It's burning down. Oh my God, we need to save it today, today, today." And then you see the other news, and they actually show you the state. You have one street, one avenue, one small portion with their police force and all that stuff, having that under control, versus the whole narrative of the state is burning down to the ground. It's Armageddon. It's the apocalypse. It's like, oh my God, you know. So there's all of that stuff going on. I thought that was pretty interesting. Now that ICE is coming more and more to the forefront with this whole use of force and going up into the black neighborhoods and all that stuff. It's almost at this point, it's almost like you can see that it's inevitable, right? Some people have lost their lives, but I'm talking about the real, not that it's not real that other people have lost their lives, but I'm talking about what the real intent is and that coming to fruition. And it's almost like there's nothing you can do to stop it, because human nature is human nature. There will become a time where people get sick and tired of this whole debacle, and the anarchy will ensue. So that's unfortunate, and you don't even really know what to say. Do you say like you're gonna pray about it? Do you say like it's inevitable, it's bound to happen, it's the trajectory that we're on, it's like all part of the whole parcel? Um, who knows, right? There's just a lot going on. It's a lot going on. But let me know what you guys think down below with the whole who is really behind this whole ICE thing. Like, you know what I mean? Who's really signing up for this organization at this point? There's no background checks. You can pretty much see that's out the window. There is no type of, guardrails there. You could see that playing out in Chicago. So it's just a matter of time before how much is too much. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're starting to have your own version of kind of like what's happening over there in the whole Gaza situation, in it. It starts off with a little incursion here to put out a fire there. Next thing you got tanks in the streets, people being arrested, people being murdered. There's no accountability. Things are happening. People are just being locked up without due process. Just in prison for months at a time, all the protesters and all this stuff happening, and here we go. Wait a minute, it's not a third world country, it's not the Middle East, it's America, right? Because this is what is to come, because of the things set in motion that cannot be undone, unfortunately. This is where we are. Not we, but this is where they are. And unfortunately, because we're connected by borders, this is where we are. So hopefully, hopefully for our sake, for my country's sake, things can be dealt with, and things can go back to some form of normality. I don't think things will ever go back to being normal, especially with this 51st state crap. But hopefully we can put out this particular fire and then work on the other stuff, because this stuff is combustible. It's not gonna end well. For all the people who are frothing at the mouth and thinking like, "Oh my God, this is our time. We're gonna just go around and start doing what we really want to do." Just remember, this stuff goes both ways, right? And if you're praying for this type of anarchy, just remember you live in the anarchy. So inevitably, you also get caught up in that anarchy. So, let's hope some common sense prevails. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We can definitely talk about it. This is something that is progressing, so I'm sure we'll be back here again talking about it in the future. So we'll just watch and see how it goes. And like I said, we'll probably talk about this again. So stay up and stay blessed, guys. And yeah, we'll catch up with you guys later. Deuces.